Welcome to Career Plus. Aviation Hotel Management రంగంలో Risali Institute of Management తనదైన శైలిలో దూసుకెళ్తోంది. విశాఖపట్నం కేంద్రంగా 27 ఏళ్లుగా విశేషమైన సేవలు అందిస్తోంది. 1 లక్షకు పైగా విద్యార్థులకు శిక్షణ ఇచ్చి ఉన్నత శిఖరాలకు చేర్చింది. దేశ విదేశాల్లో స్థిరపడేలా వారి భవిష్యత్తును తీర్చిదిద్దింది. విశాఖపట్నంలో అంతర్జాతీయ ప్రమాణాలతో రిసాలి ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఆఫ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ విద్యా సంస్థలు స్థాపించిన ప్రముఖ సైకాలజిస్ట్ డైరెక్టర్ DR.Srinivas మరియు CEO ఆఫ్ ఐరావత్ గ్రూప్ కి గ్యారీ TV9 స్టూడియోలో ఉన్నారు. వారితో మనం మాట్లాడదాం. ముందుగా శ్రీనివాస్ గారు, సో యాక్చువల్లీ 1,00,000 మంది విద్యార్థులు అంటే అదేమీ చిన్న విషయం కాదు. బట్ ఇప్పుడు ఎలా సర్వీసెస్ విషయంలో ఏమైనా కాంపిటీషన్ ఏమైనా ఎక్కువగా ఉందా? దాన్ని మీరు ఎలా ఫేస్ చేస్తున్నారు?
వెరీ గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ టు ఆల్. కాంపిటీషన్ అన్నది ఇన్ ఎనీ ఫీల్డ్ ఇట్స్ మ్యాండేటరీ, కంపల్సరీగా ఉంటుంది అది. బట్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ దగ్గరికి వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఒక స్టూడెంట్ ఏదైనా సరే ఒక కోర్స్ ఎన్నుకునేటప్పుడు ఏ రంగంలో నేను సూట్ అవుతాను, నా మైండ్ కానీ నాకు నాలెడ్జ్ కానీ దేనికి సూట్ అవుతుంది అన్నది తెలుసుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. దానికి లిటిల్ హోంవర్క్ అన్నది చేయవలసి ఉంటుంది. అండ్ ఫీల్డ్ చూస్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత ఏ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ అన్నది కూడా చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. So we have been doing in this field for the past 27 years. Earlier I had language institute, and now we are running aviation management and hospitality management courses. Like we have a BBA aviation management. It's a 3 years course for +2 and intermediate అయిన వాళ్ళకి ఈ కోర్స్ ఆఫర్ చేస్తుంది. అది కాకుండా డిగ్రీ అయిన వాళ్ళకి ఎనీ గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ we offer a course called MBA aviation management. అండ్ హాస్పిటాలిటీ ఇండస్ట్రీలో BSc హోటల్ మేనేజ్మెంట్, అది నేషనల్ బ్యాచ్, అండ్ BSc ఇంటర్నేషనల్ బ్యాచ్ ఇది కూడా ఆఫర్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇది కాకుండా డిప్లొమాస్ లైక్ డిప్లొమా ఇన్ ఎయిర్పోర్ట్ ఆపరేషన్స్, డిప్లొమా ఇన్ ఎయిర్ హోస్టెస్ అండ్ క్యాబిన్ క్రూ ట్రైనింగ్. దీస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఆర్ ఆఫర్డ్ బై Risali Institute of Management.
Yes, ఇక మన న్యూ గెస్ట్ తో మనం మాట్లాడదాం. వెల్కమ్ టు ది TV9 స్టూడియో మిస్టర్ గ్యారీ. అండ్ వాట్ ఆర్ ద స్ట్రెంగ్త్స్ ఆఫ్ IESP?
All right, so to give you a strength of the IESP, I got to give you a little background about IESP. IESP is part of the Iravath Group. Iravath Group has its own operations. We started having our own operations at airports and hospitals. So we had almost 1,500 staff working at different airports in the country. And post that, we also got into auditing and consulting in the aviation industry. So we last year bagged a global tender to consult Nepal Airline to get an ITA audit. So we have very senior people on board who are into the consulting and the trading business. When we got into operations for airports, we realized the lack in the skill requirement for students who are coming to join the industry. And that's when we got into the education side, and IESP, which is Institute for Excellence in Services and Planning. It's part of the Iravath Group, the education arm. We cater to sectors like aviation, hospitality, healthcare, retail, and road safety. So our strengths also come from our understanding of the industry. We are also into manufacturing of electric units for the airports. So our students don't just get an understanding of just the training part, but it's also the overall scope of work that's going to happen in the aviation sector. Apart from that, one of the most important things is we don't just train students to be a part of the industry. We have trained almost 40,000 staff of airports, airlines, and hospitals. So right from airline directors down to the lowest denominator of working at the airport, we've trained them all. So that's the advantage what IESP brings on board, and our students get a very realistic understanding of the industry. One of the reasons why we've been successful as an aviation player is also the fact that we give out a very clear understanding that aviation is not just a hard work, and that's what our kids have to put in right through with discipline and a lot of hard work. They can clearly make it to their levels.
Okay, let's get into the point. I mean, you're providing manpower to the particular company, but how is the training session different from others?
Well, that's what I said. So our training, we understand the modules because our trainers are all certified in the industry. So we understand what kind of modules are required for them. We understand how the curriculum has to be devised for them. Apart from that, we've been all talking about skill development today, right? From the central ministry to the state level, everybody's talking about skill development. However, the whole dynamics of skilling has changed. It's not anymore of purely technical knowledge. It's about giving them a right personality, right communication skills, the grooming standards. So this is something where we excel. And we also have our programs. We also do something called ILAP, which is IESPN's Learn, Adapt and Progress. So not only do we give 100% placement for our kids, but after they get the job, we still provide them with free training so that they can excel in whichever company that they're working at, the airports or the other sectors that they are. So that's an added advantage that we work with. Apart from that, all our kids have to run marathons. They have to, you know, be very disciplined, and that's part of the training. So that's how we're different here.
ఓకే, కానీ ఒకసారి ఏమైనా మీరు మాక్ డ్రిల్స్ లాంటి కూడా ఏమైనా చేస్తూ ఉంటారు? బికాజ్ ఏవియేషన్ అంటున్నారు, మళ్ళీ హాస్పిటాలిటీ సర్వీసెస్ అంటున్నారు, ఇంకా డిఫరెంట్ వేరియస్ చెప్తున్నారు మీరు. ఒక్కొక్క పార్ట్ దగ్గరకు వచ్చేటప్పటికి వాళ్ళని ఎలా ట్రైన్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు? వాళ్ళకి ఏమైనా మాక్ సెషన్స్ ఏమైనా ఏర్పాటు చేస్తూ ఉంటారా?
డెఫినెట్గా మేము వీ సెండ్ దమ్ ఫర్ ఇంటర్న్షిప్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ లైక్ యూనో హాస్పిటల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ అనుకో, లైక్ 5-star హోటల్స్లో కానీ, లైక్ టూరిజంలో కానీ పంపిస్తూ ఉంటారు. And there is for aviation industry, we send them for like airports like Samshabad Airport, Hyderabad, or Mumbai Airport and all. They go for internship program, so that ins and outs they would understand, the students would understand. Then వాళ్ళకి ఏమవుతుందంటే వాళ్ళకి ఈజీ అవుతుందన్నమాట. సో ట్రైనింగ్ ఈజ్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద కోర్స్.
ఓకే, ఒకవేళ వాళ్ళలో మీరు ఎలా చూస్తారు? బికాజ్ మీకు అన్ని లక్షల మంది లేకపోతే వేల మంది స్టూడెంట్స్ వచ్చినప్పుడు ది బెస్ట్ స్టూడెంట్ అని ఎలా మీరు పిక్ చేస్తారు?
సాధారణ మా స్టూడెంట్స్ దగ్గరికి వచ్చేటప్పటికి వి కండక్ట్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ కాల్డ్ రేట్ అని, రిసాలి అడ్మిషన్ టెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్సలెన్స్. సో స్టూడెంట్స్తో మాట్లాడి పర్సనల్ కౌన్సిలింగ్ ఉంటుంది. ఇట్స్ నాట్ దట్ ద స్టూడెంట్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ అస్ ఆర్ అడ్మిషన్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ అస్. స్టూడెంట్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళ పేరెంట్స్తో మాట్లాడి, ఈవెన్ స్టూడెంట్తో ఇండివిజువల్గా మాట్లాడి సెపరేట్గా మాట్లాడిన తర్వాత, ఇఫ్ ద స్టూడెంట్ ఈజ్ రియల్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఇన్ దిస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్, ఈ ఏవియేషన్ కానీ హాస్పిటాలిటీలో ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉన్నప్పుడు మాత్రమే అడ్మిషన్ అనేది తీసుకుంటాం. కాబట్టి సో క్వాలిటీ చెక్ ఈజ్ ఆల్రెడీ డన్ బిఫోర్ టేకింగ్ ద అడ్మిషన్. సో విల్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ ప్రాబ్లమ్, బికాస్ దోస్ హు ఆర్ వెరీ సీరియస్ అబౌట్ these courses only we take them.
Okay.
Because it's that kind of it's a very sophisticated industry.
Okay, great. But what are your future expansion plans, and what would you do after 5 years, or any other expansion plans?
Well, yes, we are actually right in the midst of very aggressive expansion happening with IESP setting up its training centers across India and internationally. So 31st of March we launched in Nepal. We have our own training center out there. 11th of May we launched Lucknow, which has just happened recent. 25th we are launching Bangalore. So by 2019 we would be around 16 centers in India and 6 international centers. So Dubai is launched for 15th of August. We've got Philippines, Sri Lanka and Saudi Arabia coming up. So we are looking to be a global player in the training and consulting industry in the aviation side. And these are surely happening. We've kind of moved very fast this year, and we look to kind of we will be opening Delhi, Goa, Ahmedabad and Pune by the end of the year. So we are on track for our growth over the next 2 years.
Okay, great to hear that. I mean, it's merely providing manpower, but what are you expecting from the government? Are you expecting anything from the government, or any kind of support you need?
Well, surely. There's the good thing about with the new governments that have come in play are they are focusing on skill development, because now skilling, everybody initially, we've been always a country very, excited with titles, and certifications, and probably wanting a degree and a diploma or a PhD. However, what we've kind of started realizing that skilling the youth is equally more important, which is actually going to take the GDP to the double-digit growth. So now with the government's initiative on skill development, with NSDC coming into play, we are looking at the awareness about skilling, which is happening right now. Apart from that, what needs to be also done a bit more is to ensure that the education loans for skilling is also kind of made available to a lot of people, because we are not too expensive in our programs. However, still people do not have those means to kind of reach to us at times, and that's where the banking sector and the other sectors have to be brought in to kind of support the skilling industry. So that's something that we look for the government to kind of work towards more on that. So that kind of helps to eventually take the business forward and get more kids to be skilled, and it definitely helps the economy on the overrun.
ఓకే, బట్ 100% జాబ్ రావాలంటే స్టూడెంట్ వైపు నుంచి కూడా ఎలాంటి ప్రయత్నం ఉండాలి?
100% ప్లేస్మెంట్ అన్నది, సో ఈవెన్ ఎవ్రీబడి ఈజ్ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ గెట్ ప్లేస్మెంట్. బట్ ఎంతవరకు ఇది నిజం అంటే, జనరల్గా ఏ కోర్సులో 100% ప్లేస్మెంట్ రావాలంటే ఎనీ పోస్ట్ డిమాండ్ సర్టెన్ స్కిల్స్ అండ్ నాలెడ్జ్. ఆ డొమైన్ నాలెడ్జ్ అన్నది ఇట్స్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఏవియేషన్ ఇండస్ట్రీకి ఆర్ హాస్పిటల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ దగ్గరికి వచ్చేటప్పటికి, సో యాజ్ సూన్ యాజ్ ద స్టూడెంట్ జాయిన్స్ అవర్ కోర్స్, ఫస్ట్ 6 months మేము ఏం చేస్తాం అంటే వీ ఫోకస్ ఆన్ ద స్కిల్స్, లైక్ స్కిల్ సెట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ లైక్ సాఫ్ట్ స్కిల్స్. And one of the soft skills is like communication skills, because communication skills is very, very important. So you can say that it's a mandatory for any manager or any corporate guy. And it's not that speaking, it's speaking effectively. Effective communication is very important. So 100% placement the generally there are lots of openings are there in aviation sector and hospitality sector. But student ready go that's very important. So most of them, they come from rural background. They got a very good percentage like 95, 96, 97. Just they mug up the lessons and do the exams. So getting through the exams is very easy. So somehow they get a percentage. Whereas what I've understood from the personal counseling from the students and intermediate students or plus 2 students, most of them are introverts. They can't speak not even a single word, but their percentage is very, very high. So all these days, they work for the marks and the grades and all, but that doesn't help us now, as of now, because as soon as they finish the graduation, they have to excel their field. So communication plays a very important role. Communication in English language and communication in Hindi language. So we mainly focus on communication skills, which is very, very important, because whatever the thoughts are going on in his mind or her mind, he has to speak out so that the other person, the listener, can understand. So without communication, it's very impossible. Especially in these 2 sectors, aviation and hospitality sectors. So primarily as a psychologist, as a language trainer, first of all, we emphasize on the skills and breaking their inhibitions, like shy and all. Lots of shy guys will be there, and fear, lots of fear will be there. They can't face the students. Even they talk to the parents also, some of the students, and they don't talk to the relatives also. So almost one kind of they're in the groove, like a shell. So we want to break that shell of inhibitions of fear and or shy and all. So as a psychologist, I conduct some tests. I make them to speak on the dais, and we have some what we call interactive sessions like role plays and all, and seminars and all. So usually why I have been successful, Risali has been successful. The reason is we train them, not teach them. So that's one of the reasons we have been successful. We got placement through IESP very recently. 28 students got selected and they're under training program now. So that's one of the reasons we have been successful. And getting a placement is very, very easy. So as easy as ABC, we can say that.
Okay. బట్ ఈ మధ్య అంటే మేనేజ్మెంట్ అందిస్తున్న కోర్స్ వివరాల్లో ఏమన్నా కొత్త మార్పులు చేసుకుంటూ వచ్చారా? ఎలా ఉంటుందంటారు?
సో మార్పులు అన్నవి దిస్ యూనివర్సిటీ ప్రోగ్రామ్ కాబట్టి జనరల్గా బీబీ ఏవియేషన్ మేనేజ్మెంట్, ఎంబీ ఏవియేషన్ మేనేజ్మెంట్, బీఎస్సీ హోటల్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఇస్ university degree programs. Whereas when it comes to diploma programs, since we got a tie-up for IESP, so they have their own modules. They are good at their training programs, because they are number one. You can say that number one. Iravath Group, IESP is the number one in India. Whereas they train most of the airlines staff. You can say that. So they customize the course according to the industry needs. So since we have tie-up, recently we got tie-up with this group, they take care of the retraining program, reorientation program and the placement part of it.
Oh, okay. So Gary to matladam, director and CEO. So being a director and CEO of Iravath, people are like very desperate about the success. So could you tell us about the demand of this industry?
Well, the industry surely is on the rise, and aviation is looking at, we're going to be like the 3rd biggest aviation market over the next few years. If you talk about passenger growth in aviation, it's almost been 30% averaging in the country. And if we talk about specifically to the state of Telangana and Andhra, we're going almost 40% average in terms of passenger growth. So with that, we can understand the demand that is there, in terms of the requirement that more aircrafts, more airlines to come in, and surely a lot more staff to handle these industries, because without that, it's not going to suffice. So we are looking at almost about 1 lakh new jobs in the industry over the next 2 to 3 years. And specifically in the state that we're talking about, it's again looking at about 50,000 to 1 lakh new jobs in the industry itself. So that's kind of a good number, and that's our focus, to be able to give the people the right kind of understanding, because it's very important that the right students get into the industry with the clear mindset, because what is also happening is there's a lot of attrition in these industries. So people join and then eventually they leave. So that's why I said we as institutions, it's our we need to guide these kids very clearly that this is not just a glamour industry. It's a lot of hard work, and that should be the focus. And definitely in terms of growth, they have got they've got a good growth for themselves. They can work here and then move internationally as well, because there's a lot of demand for Indian professionals out in the global market, in the Middle Eastern markets. So they have a lot of opportunity by getting themselves into the aviation sector and then moving outside the country as well. But surely the Indian market itself is growing so fast, so they have a lot of opportunities in the Indian market itself for them to grow from here on.
Wow, it's really nice to hear that. But any particular plans for this state and to Telugu states, AP and Telangana, any particular plans for our
Well, from our side, we are here to stay and we are here to grow. So we've already collaborated with Risali, and we'll be launching Vizag very soon. Next up would be Hyderabad. So we would be looking at setting up a massive training center in Hyderabad, which would cater for all the sectors in aviation, hospitality, healthcare, even road safety, where we do a lot of work with the governments. So definitely, we see a huge demand coming from the industry, which is requiring the right kind of people, because we are constantly in touch with all the airlines and the airports, and we get to hear that there's always a demand for fresh guys to come in. And since there are more new airlines coming in India, a lot of international airlines coming up, a lot of passenger growth, the domestic market itself is exploding in India at this point. So this is the right time for kids to make their career in the aviation sector, and they would be seeing themselves growing very fast.
According to your explanation, I mean, it seems, offers are really vast. But what would, young generation, what should it do? I mean, they should follow your website or any Facebook page, or first step, what do you suggest them?
Well, in the state of, Hyderabad and in Telangana and Andhra, they can surely get connected with the Risali group, because they would be, we are collaborating with them in the state itself. So they can get in touch with Risali, and eventually they would be coming into us to get trained and certified by us to be able to get themselves the right kind of jobs in the industry. So surely they can connect and go through Risali Group, or they can always go on to iesp.co.in, and we will be guiding them from there on.
Okay, మీరు ఎలా గైడ్ చేస్తారు అయితే? ఇప్పుడు ప్రస్తుతం వాళ్ళ దగ్గరికి అసలు వెళ్ళాలి అంటే ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్ రిసాలి దగ్గరికి వెళ్తే సరిపోతుందని కూడా చెప్తున్నారు కాబట్టి, సో what would you suggest them?
No, actually, so why this tie-up? So most of the students, as I told you just now, rural background నుంచి వస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి ఇంగ్లీష్లో చాలా వీక్గా ఉన్నారు. So if they go to, if they're really sent them to Mumbai, they can't cope up with these the language and all. That's what a basic training program అంతా కూడా మేము చేస్తున్నామంటే విశాఖపట్నంలో ట్రైనింగ్ ఇస్తాం. లైక్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ స్కిల్స్ కానీ, బిహేవియర్ కానీ, గ్రూమింగ్ స్టాండర్డ్స్ ఎలా ఉండాలి, ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఫస్ట్ మేము ట్రైన్ చేయడం వల్ల దే ఆర్ జస్ట్ అప్ టు సమ్ ఎక్స్టెంట్. Then later on they'll be sent for Mumbai for the training program, and they'll be observed or placed after the training program from IESP. So that's what it would fetches both of us.
Okay.
So they can understand the culture of Mumbai, and they can understand the Mumbai airport use and work culture they can understand. These are the reasons initially they'll be trained up at Visakhapatnam, then we will be sent for Mumbai.
Okay.
Like, unfinished to finished product.
Okay. అంటే మీ దాంట్లో కూడా స్క్రూటనింగ్ అంటూ ఉంటుందా?
Yeah,
స్టూడెంట్స్ ఒకసారి వచ్చిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళని మళ్ళీ వాళ్ళ ఎగ్జామ్స్ ఎలాగో చెప్తున్నారు కాబట్టి ఎలా ఉంటుంది స్క్రూటనింగ్ అంతా కూడా?
As I told you just now, mostly they are very intelligent, very good students. బాగా హార్డ్ వర్క్ చేసేవాళ్ళే. ద ప్రాబ్లమ్ విత్ దేర్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ ఓన్లీ. చాలా మంది తెలుగులోనే మాట్లాడతారు కానీ ఇంగ్లీష్లో మాట్లాడారు. బట్ దిస్ ఇండస్ట్రీ రిక్వైర్స్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ స్కిల్స్ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్ లాంగ్వేజ్ అండ్ హిందీ. సో మెయిన్ ఫోకస్ ఏంటంటే ఆ బిహేవియరల్ యాటిట్యూడ్ కానీ, యాటిట్యూడ్ డెవలప్ చేయటం, స్కిల్స్ డెవలప్ చేయటం, అండ్ నాలెడ్జ్, పర్టికులర్లీ ఏవియేషన్ ఇండస్ట్రీకి సంబంధించిన నాలెడ్జ్, ఆర్ హాస్పిటాలిటీకి సంబంధించిన నాలెడ్జ్ ట్రైన్ చేయడం. ఐ గాట్ వెరీ గుడ్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ, ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్డ్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి ఆ ఇనీషియల్గా మేము ఆ 6 months 1 year మేము ట్రైన్ చేస్తాం. సో వన్స్ దే కమ్ టు ద సర్టన్ స్టాండర్డ్స్ where they would match ESP standards, so then they'll be sent for training program, retraining program, you can say that.
Because that's what we want. Sometimes they might be a walking encyclopedia, but sometimes they are not aware of these all kind of aviation groups and services. So I think attitude, personalities, personal development kuda chala important anpistundi kada?
Yeah, as I'm a psychologist, I've trained more than 1 lakh students in English language and personality development. So psychology helps a lot. Personality ante it's not overnight change cheyalam kani he should know about weaknesses and strengths. When he or she knows about his strengths and weaknesses, how to overcome the weaknesses also is very important. We'll put them in a right way. So psychology helps on personal development classes, would help them to be a better person, So maybe not be overnight, it takes some years to change himself or herself. So that's one of the reasons we focus on psychology classes and personal development classes, and we have wonderful industry expert faculty unnaru kabatti, like Mr. Vivekananda, Mr. Raju, Mr. K.S. Rao, Mr. Venkat, who takes care of training and placements. So wonderful team on the Risali kabatti, and we have wonderful ultra modern campus kuda undi, and a psychology lab and TV studio, articulation, modulation, language gurinchi, and pronunciation ala maatladali. So we have an English language lab on the kabatti. So we have wonderful infrastructure and we train them really.
Okay. ఎలా అనిపిస్తుంది ఇప్పటి వరకు ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఏమన్నా సక్సెస్ అయిన వాళ్ళని చూస్తుంటే లేకపోతే మంచి పొజిషన్లో ఉన్న వాళ్ళని చూస్తుంటే సో వాళ్ళని చూపిస్తూ మీరు ఏమన్నా మిగతా వాళ్ళకి ఏమైనా ఇన్స్పిరేషన్గా చూపిస్తూ ఉంటారా ఎలా ఉంటుంది?
It's very encouraging. Very recently we met one of our students like Mr. Srikanth అని చెప్పి రీసెంట్గా హైదరాబాద్ ఎయిర్పోర్ట్లో జాయిన్ అయ్యాడు. All of a sudden around 5 o'clock we wanted to catch a flight from Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam. He suddenly came and wished us. So we were very happy. So whenever we meet our students in star hotels at the airports, will be over the moon. So obviously as a guru or as a teacher, will be on cloud nine, we can say that sometimes. So it gives us lots of immense pleasure, we can say that.
Okay. Then what would be the toughest part of this job, Gary?
What would be the toughest part of this job? Well, the job, of course, it's stressful because, nowadays the Indian passenger is also very demanding. He's no more the subversive guy. If he's traveling by air, he needs his services to be met on time. He needs to travel on time. Everybody's got their schedules. So yes, if your flight is delayed and the staff on ground has to take the brunt, so they need to be, that's why our personality development programs also cover anger management and stress management, time management, of course, because this job, you can't be late for your job. You can't be late for your flight. It's as simple. The flight has to go and people have to go. So these are very important traits that the kids need to, imbibe in them, and that's where the discipline program comes into the whole training part of it as well. Apart from that, just to add another point over here is our training also focuses on not just getting a job, but sustaining and building up in that job as well. So in today's scenario, most of the kids are enslaved to the social media, so whether it's WhatsApp or it's Facebook. You see a lot of kids who are working, if they've gone through a little tough time, immediately that gets posted on Facebook, and some companies are not appreciating all these things. So you might actually have been thrown out because of that. So we, in our communication program, have actually also incorporated things like handling social media. A very small thing, you see a lot of these kids get into jobs, and we had a lot of kids coming back to us and saying, we want to quit the job. After 6 months kind of thing, and we would ask them why, and they would say, well, there are a lot of people working in that company for 5 years and they're saying, nothing has happened for us, we've not grown, so how would you grow over here? And this was like a regular trend that we could see. A lot of kids across India would join and then kind of come back and say, why? Well, there again, we need to understand that each company, works on a law of Pareto. So there's always going to be 20% people who are growing and leaders and become leaders, and 80% would be followers. So they're kind of slow growers. Now you got to understand who you're listening to. Are you listening to the leaders, or are you listening to the guys who are kind of, being just there for long? So then we created a program called rumor handling. So, how do you handle rumors, and how do you ensure that you don't kind of take a decision and leave a job, but how do you make yourself more important in that job as well? So these are the things that we add value to the whole training program that we do.
But చాలా బాగా అనిపిస్తుంది because డిమాండ్ ఎక్కువగా ఉంది కాబట్టి సప్లై కూడా ఎక్కువగా ఉంటుందని అనుకుంటున్నాం. ఎనివే థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఫర్ జాయినింగ్ విత్ us, Gary and Dr. Srinivas. సో ఇది ఇవాల్టి కెరీర్ ప్లస్. చూస్తూనే ఉండండి TV9.